When it doesn't go well, you take the blame. When it goes well, you give the credit. That's what great leaders do.
Tom Brady repeated one of the most important words 19 times in one of the greatest interviews of 2023. The interview really starts at 5 minutes and 10 seconds, and Brady took the lead.
That's a little better. Naturally, when I go into the stadium to get all fired up.
Tom made it very clear that since the day he decided to pick up a football and take it seriously, he put every team he was associated with first before himself.
I had to do what was right by the team, and I took that. That was like one of the greatest, I always say that was one of the great honors that you could have, was when all your buddies from college and these great athletes, they name you captain because they say, man, you deserve it. We want you to be the leader for us.
He has a laundry list of amazing accomplishments, championships, awards, MVPs, and yet for Tom to tell us that one of the greatest honors of his career were his college teammates deciding to vote for him to be the captain of his team. This is a true testament to who he was as a player, as a teammate, and that he always had the best interest of the team in mind wherever he went. It actually reminds me of when I was a basketball player back at high school and college, and as a result of many injuries, I wasn't able to play all of the time. However, I went to 2 different high schools and 2 different colleges, and I happened to be captain at all 4. It became a mission of mine to explore how I could become the best teammate possible given the situation at hand. Being a leader of the team, not necessarily producing on the court, but helping produce off the court.
I had all my teammates that supported me. I had my sisters that supported me. It takes so many people to get to where we get in our life. Yeah, I was there doing some of the work, but couldn't have done it if I didn't have them.
Throughout our own journeys and pursuits and goals, sometimes we feel like we have to do everything on our own, and we try to be heroes in doing so. At the end of the day, Brady made the choice to get up in the morning, get out of bed, and go to work. Brady made the choice to learn from coaches and players and mentors and other successful people. He made the choice of taking control of his own routine, from working out to nutrition to focusing on his sleep, how to recover his body, and dedicating every single day to getting better. He did it. He made those choices. They were leaders. They were mentors. They challenged him. They pushed him. You know, you are who you hang with, and you are a result of the people that you spend your time around. Brady had all this help from the right people. He didn't get there on his own, but he made the decision whether or not he wanted to get better.
My vision of a relationship comes down to one word: caring. Do you care about the other person, and do you collectively care about what you're trying to achieve?
I love this so much. You have to truly care about somebody else in order for them to trust you. Brady knew that the long-term game here of building a real, authentic, genuine relationship built on the core foundation of care would be a winning formula in any environment he played in. Because of all my personal injuries and not seeing the court that much, I made it a point to develop real relationships with them, not just on the court, but off the court. Maybe it was helping the younger college students build their resume. Maybe it was showing them my experiences networking and helping them through their own job prospecting for their careers after college. Sometimes it was personal things, whether it was relationships with their significant other or things that they didn't feel comfortable talking about with other people. I was able to have these conversations and build this relationship because 1, I truly cared, but 2, I earned their trust.
And I think the great reward in my life is not the record that you would read off before I came on stage. What you said was your teammates loved you. That's the greatest reward I could ever have.
This is the exact formula that Tom Brady deployed as a captain, and that's why every single person who has ever played with him have nothing but great things to say about him. It's not that I assume that every teammate that I've ever had have nothing but great things to say about me, but I inherited these leadership qualities from my mom and my dad and my brother because they always taught me how to truly show unconditional love and care for other people.
When it doesn't go well, you take the blame. When it goes well, you give the credit. That's what great leaders do.
When it doesn't go well, you take the blame. When it goes well, you give the credit. One of the most powerful statements from his interview. That's the true quality of a leader. And Brady knew that things weren't always going to go well. In fact, looking through his early career, he faced a ton of adversity. And overcoming that adversity and turning it into his life's biggest asset is a very important and powerful takeaway.
It was a tough go. It was tough in high school. It was really tough in college. There was a lot of stress. Nothing was given to me. I didn't take the easy way out going to Cal. So of course, now I'm going to the NFL draft. Man, I'm gonna be a second-round pick. And, you know, round 1, 2, and here we go. 6th round, pick 199.
199! 199! Doubted by most people, overlooked by most people. His story speaks for itself. There were so many different signs and indications along the way, which if Brady had listened to, definitely wouldn't be who he is today. But he built this work ethic and competitive nature at such an early age, he didn't allow himself to listen to any nonsense or any negativity.
I didn't have any friends on the other teams. I didn't. My friends were the guys that were in the battle with me.
I love this so much. You know that look on a certain person? They have red in their eyes and they're coming for you. That was an automatic switch for Brady, because when it came to football, there was no playing around.
There wasn't a lot of smiley faces with me out there. There wasn't a lot of smiley faces with Michael Jordan. There weren't a lot of smiley faces with Kobe Bryant. There weren't a lot of smiley faces with Tiger Woods, right? Tiger wasn't trying to be friends with anybody. Tiger had no friends.
Brady is 100% right. Did you ever see any of those guys smiling? No, and it's not a coincidence. He was on a mission. People used to always tell me that I was so serious on the basketball court, that I didn't really smile and it never seemed like I was having so much fun. It's actually not the case, because I had a ton of fun playing basketball. It's the thing that I still love the most in my life. But this competitive nature that I built on my own is kind of similar to Brady's approach. When it came time to playing basketball, if you were on the opposite team in practice, and the team that I was playing against in the game, I didn't have any smiles on my face either. Playing one-on-one with my brother outside in the driveway, pick up basketball at the court, recreational leagues in the summer, competitive games in practice, 2-on-2, 3-on-3, shooting, high school, college, you name it. I wasn't trying to be an angry person, nor was I trying to be somebody that wasn't pleasant to be around. I was just training myself to get into that state of mind of it's time to win. One of my best friends today, who used to play professional overseas basketball, is somebody who I met through training. He was a heavily recruited basketball player who had spent time with NBA, professional, overseas players. He really got an inside scoop of what it was like being around guys who had reached the highest levels. And still to this day, he always says that out of all of the people he has ever trained with or played with, I was the most competitive, I was the hardest working, and I'm the one who pushed him the most. That's not me bragging, because I didn't even come close to the levels of other players he had played with before. However, my consistent approach, competitive nature, and will and drive to win and get better every single day is something that I'm not only very proud of, but can truly relate to when Brady talks about that in himself.
And I got to the Patriots, and you talked about that one moment where I said, wow, I can really do this. I had a belief that I could. If I worked the same way, and if I gained the trust and respect of my teammates in the same way, if they ever put me on the field, they're never gonna take me off the field. And they never did.
Hey, self-belief is like half the battle if you ask me. When he realized that his own physical capabilities exceeded what he saw from his competitors, that's all she wrote. This delusional confidence was built through all of the preparation and behind the scenes work he knew the other players weren't doing. And this hard work, consistency, grind, dedication led him to building a foundation and machine built around discipline. You know, he knew way back then that he didn't have the strongest arm. He wasn't the quickest athlete. His athletic abilities were pretty limited, and he wasn't in the best shape ever. He didn't have these prodigy-like strengths. I mean, look, he was drafted in the 6th round as the 199th pick. But this is proof that your mental state and everything else that is in your control can contribute to a skill set. Only 36 seconds into the interview, and he drops the word discipline for the first time.
Sharing some of the amazing insights that I've had over a lot of years in competitive sports and teamwork and discipline and success.
He talks about how sports influences people's lives and led him to having an incredible amount of self-awareness at an early age.
There was a lot of sports, and you know, sports in all of our communities were pretty impactful and influential in the ways that, you know, we grew up and we socialized. And I think there was a work ethic that was in me, but I was never, I would say, like a prodigy. I saw myself as someone who probably had some other traits that maybe were hard to identify, but that were really sustainable over time, which was, I would say, work ethic and discipline.
Brady already identified that ultimately his two driving forces to outperform were hard work and discipline. Back when I was in middle school, when I started to take basketball very seriously, I spent my time during recess, my time after school, and my time after hours always outside getting shots up. There was no one else in the school that wanted to join me because no one else was as competitive as I was. I remember a staff member from middle school, sometimes we would play one-on-one, we'd get shots up, but he saw something in me at such an early age, and I knew that I was good relative to my peers and the others I was playing basketball with. But the fact that he saw me day in and day out, 5 days a week, outside getting shots up, meant a lot to me. And as Brady said, sports influences people's lives and allows them to have an incredible amount of early self-awareness. The more that I played, the more that I understood where I fit in. And when I got into high school and I was exposed to a completely different demographic of people and skill set and talent, that experience prior in developing that self-awareness allowed me to understand where I really fit in. Look, I was good, I was talented, I worked harder than anyone else, but I allowed myself to accept where I fit in reality. I wasn't the tallest, I wasn't the fastest, I wasn't the most athletic, and I definitely wasn't the best. But my self-awareness, my hard work, and my discipline all allowed me to be the best version of myself. His story of going through many different challenges and overcoming a lot of adversity is a clear ingredient to his success. Overcoming all of that adversity turned him into a monster with a freak competitive nature, allowed him to build so much confidence confidence, all he had to do was believe in himself. And all of his dedication and all of his hard work created a discipline, a consistent discipline, that made him one of the best, if not the best, football players of all time. Self-belief, teammates, family, caring, drive, determination, gratitude, humility, consistency, hustle, selflessness, and most important of them all, discipline. Those are the things that made Tom Brady. And those are the things that he ultimately wants you to focus on to become the best version of yourself.